Breaking: Swedish amusement parks opens. Hello, I'm Christopher and welcome to Tiagi and a news update. A couple of weeks ago we got reached by the news that the Swedish amusement parks will be allowed to open their gates in 2021. Actually as early as 2nd of April. This will not happen though, of course, because usually the Swedish parks open their gates by end of April or beginning of May, and that is what both the major theme parks in Sweden, Gröna Lund and Liseberg, is aiming for. What's extra interesting at the moment is that yesterday the Swedish parks got their new regulations. So let's start with the biggest one and the strangest one. The regulations are that the Swedish parks will need to have 20 square meters per visitor. This means that in Liseberg's case, which is 170,000 square meters, divided by 20, that would be 8,500 guests. That would be kind of fine for Liseberg, because we know that they need around 5,000 to 7,000 people in the park to make profit. So 8,500, that will be some profit. Not good, not great, but something. Problem is though, they will calculate this on guest area. And that is not 170,000 square meters. That is way less. So it would be more realistic that Liseberg, for example, would open their park with 5,000 guests. For Gröna Lund, which is a much smaller park, we have no idea. Could they take 1,000 guests? 1,500 guests in the park, or 500? That's the big question, and that's the big problem to overcome here. And also regulations, for example, for museums in Sweden, they got 10 square meters per visitor when they are inside. Where's the math? We don't get it. But let's look at this from the positive side. Let's say that Liseberg starts with taking 5,000 guests per day and then just increase that as the situation is getting better, and hopefully, if we are lucky, by mid-July, end of July, we have our vaccine, so maybe in August Liseberg can kind of have a good run to end the summer season into September, and then hopefully we have a great Halloween and Christmas at Liseberg and Gröna Lund too, of course. So to the next regulation that we think is gonna be a little bit of a problem for some rides at the Swedish amusement parks, and that is, I'm gonna read at the same time, members of two different parties cannot sit in attractions facing each other if the distance is less than 2 meters. Which means, in Liseberg's case, let's take Colorado. Is that 2 meters to the party in front of you? Probably not. Or it's very close to be 2 meters, which means that you would probably have one boat per group. And this will apply to plenty of rides. So that means limited guest capacity or hourly capacity per ride. We already knew that, but this is one of the regulations, that's why we're talking about it. To the next regulation. All visits have to be pre-booked and guests need to arrive at set times so that there is no crowds gathering outside the parks. Virtual queues or clearly visible distance markers in queue lines. So we do know that Liseberg and Gröna Lund is gonna use the booked system. So you need to book your visit in the park and you will get a time when you will appear at the park. So if it says 9 o'clock, you will be there at 9 o'clock. If you're there at 9:10, you will not be let into the park. And you will also create a crowd gathering outside of the entrance, and also there's a chance that people that are controlling Liseberg and Gröna Lund will close down the parks because we are not following the regulations. We do know that Liseberg is gonna use virtual queue. This was announced last year with the new ride Underlandet. Then the pandemic happened, of course, and then they extended from Underlandet to 15 of their major attractions in the park. And this we know, and that this is going to be released when the park opens, which is going to be very exciting to try. But even more interesting is that Gröna Lund now says that they are also going to use some kind of virtual queue in the park for some of their major attractions. This is very exciting, and this is going to be really good to see. Is it just for the new B&M inverted roller coaster Monster, or is it for more major attractions in the park? This is going to be very interesting, and we're going to try it out as soon as we can, of course. When are Gröna Lund and Liseberg aiming to open their parks then? So, we were going to start with Gröna Lund because they are set to open Saturday 24th of April. And with that, they will also open Monster, their really good looking new B&M inverted roller coaster, which we have no idea how they made that fit into the park. That is engineering marvel. We are impressed. This looks amazing and we are so excited, and we really hope that we can go up to the park and try out Monster as soon as we can. And of course, we will get back to you with a review here, and we will also get back to you with some off-ride photos. Liseberg have instead aimed of opening their park a week after Gröna Lund, so the 1st of May. And again, as I said, Liseberg will open this year with their brand new dark ride Underlandet, located in Bunnyland in the old Kvarnteatern, which is going to be very interesting. Yes, it's a kiddie ride, but dark rides are amazing and I'm a huge fan of them, so it's gonna be really nice to be able to try that ride out. That was it from this news update. From all of us to all of you, buckle up and enjoy the ride.